Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. But before I even get started, I'm sure a lot of you had people ask you, am I too late to get into XRP? Other people that maybe you got invested into XRP said, well, when is the flip of the switch moment going to happen? When you're too late to XRP, that moment's going to happen once we get regulations, because it's going to coincide with that flip of the switch moment. This comes from Smoke. Regulations equals the switch. A lot of speakers agreed that a lot of the technology and infrastructure for institutional adoption has now been built, which was an obstacle previously. The flip of the switch now depends on regulatory approval. So they already have the technology and infrastructure for institutional adoption to happen. So the second that we get crypto regulations, I think that's when we will get the flip of the switch moment. That will also be when you are too late to XRP, because institutional adoption is going to happen so quick, it is going to leave so many people behind. This also comes from Smoke. There are no excuses for not being in crypto. Here's the institutional perspective on the investment opportunity in crypto. Investors must get off zero. Sophisticated investors are sounding the alarm on digital assets, from Apple Pay to ETFs. There's a method available for anyone to acquire crypto assets. Even mainstream headlines and surface level research provide enough reasons for any investor to allocate at least 1% of their portfolio to crypto. The opportunity is so compelling that institutions are now warning investors who found it easy to dismiss or ignore crypto will continue to do so at their own financial peril. Smart Money is literally documenting that the risk of not owning crypto is greater than the risk of being positioned in this market. They're telling everyone else it's time to get into this space. We're retail investors. We beat these institutions here. We are going to reap the rewards because of that. We were buying XRP sub 50 cents. Institutions are going to be getting into this space at the top of the alt season cycle, because we're going to get crypto regulations early 2025, in my opinion. Everything's already pushing in that direction. Once those regulations are put in place and the wild west days of crypto are now gone, the institutions will flow in here so quick, anyone not holding will be left behind forever. Breaking news, Wall Street analyst Linda Jones expects XRP to hit $33 this bull cycle. Jones' prediction is based on 4-year price cycle. Now, again, these predictions are without utility driving the price of XRP. These predictions are based just on previous cycles. Think about that. Then think about how quick utility could start driving the price much higher. You know that XRP was started by Bitcoin devs that just wanted a better Bitcoin, right? If you hate XRP, then you are hating a better version of Bitcoin. All the Bitcoin maxis love to hate XRP, but the same creators that created XRP also created Bitcoin. Here's David Schwartz talking about his work on Bitcoin mining pools in 2011. He says, I fixed these issues. And he goes on to talk about DDoS attacks and things like that. But David is limited to what he can tell you that he was working on, because at the time he was working for the NSA. But David absolutely knew all the problems with Bitcoin. That's why they went on to create XRP. XRP fixes all the problems that they saw with Bitcoin. And one of the first use cases of the XRP ledger, and I love to point this one out all the time, is the XRP ledger was built to tokenize Bitcoin. Think about that. It was built to move Bitcoin. Did you know that in 2019, Ripple opened up an office in Washington, D.C.? That office is still active and is displayed on the Ripple website. I also find it interesting that we have 3 different individuals that are currently on Ripple's board of directors that have strong connections to the U.S. government, and that they all joined surrounding the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Sandy O'Connor joined Ripple board of directors on December 15th, 2020, just a week before the SEC launched their lawsuit. Rosie Rios joined Ripple's board of directors in May of 2021, just a few months into the lawsuit. Michael Warren joined Ripple's board of directors in March of 2020, while the lawsuit was still in full force. They have ties to the Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, White House, FDIC, and more. Makes you wonder what really goes on behind the scenes. And Ripple is now in a great position to work with the U.S. government. Ripple was meeting with the Trump administration back in 2017, 2018. They got slowed down by the Ripple versus SEC case, but anybody that's been holding XRP for a long period of time, they looked at that case as it needed to happen. It was like watching a movie play out. They had to slow Ripple down until the right time. I think that right time is now. I think going into 2025, things are going to change very fast around XRP and moving the world's money. Are they telling us something without telling us something? Stuart Alderati says, victory has 1,000 fathers, but make no mistake, the courage of Brad and Chris and the resilience and expertise of Ripple Team Legal, most of whom are nameless and never sought the Twitter spotlight, paved a way. Ripple provided the blueprint to defeat Gary Gensler's inexplicable war on crypto. We kept the door open long enough for the industry to survive and seize this incredible moment. The faith and support of the XRP army provided much needed hope in the dark days. Thank you. Johnny Deaton says, congratulations to everyone who believed and never lost faith. Today is for you. Jake Claver, thank you for everything, John. So are they telling us that the Ripple versus SEC case is now officially complete? Because it sounds like they're talking about the case in the past tense. Let's wait and see where this goes from here. This comes from Mark Fogel. If the appeal is dismissed, which would be historically unusual but possible, it won't happen until the new SEC chair is appointed and confirmed, which leaves plenty of time for bogus posts about weekly meetings and all sorts of craziness leading up to the January 15th brief filing. I see a lot of people still talking about these backdoor meetings with the SEC. Stuart Alderati, what he said, it gives me hope that we are going to get a very big announcement that they dropped the case against Ripple. That could happen right before Thanksgiving. Let's see where we go from here. Right now, it's still speculation. And some people still just don't get it. It was amazing that Ripple fought the SEC and won. But too many people are attributing to heroism what was obvious self-interest. If they didn't fight the $100 million fight, the founders and execs would have lost billions personally. They weren't Team America folks. Wow. What Ripple did with the Ripple versus SEC case, they fought that out on behalf of all of crypto. Ripple also going to Washington time and time again, fighting for change around crypto regulations, fighting for a clear path forward, fighting for innovation in the United States, and yet people still don't think that what Ripple did was Team America. I think it was not only Team America, but it was also Team Crypto. And honestly, some people in this space will never get that. Breaking news, Donald Trump Jr. says Doge is planning to ditch the 7,000 plus page US tax code and replace it with a flat tax. Also, no capital gain tax for cryptos made in the USA. If they go back to just a flat tax, that could be the greatest thing that could ever happen in the United States. Because most people are tired of paying taxes upon taxes. You know, you get taxed on your paycheck. Then you get taxed when you spend the money that you have left from your paycheck. Then the merchant that spends the money that you spent at his store is taxed on that money again. And the taxes just go on forever. I totally agree with one set flat tax. And the no capital gains tax on cryptos made in the United States, do you know how big that's going to be for XRP and a few other cryptocurrencies? That's going to be absolutely incredible. And most people will just park their money in those cryptocurrencies. But this will also push the United States ahead. Trump is fighting to make America a massive crypto hub. And if he does it in the right way, this could happen very quick. I'm talking over the course of like 12 to 18 months. The United States can have innovation like we have never seen before. Let's hope that happens. Fed says U.S. debt is the top threat to economic stability, and then goes on to criticize stablecoins. The Fed is not criticizing stablecoins. In fact, the Fed is in favor of a stablecoin, but they want to be able to control it. They want a CBDC. All a CBDC is a stablecoin issued by the U.S. government or issued by the central bank, the Fed. Now, I think stablecoins could fix a lot of the problems going forward. I think Ripple's RLUSD is going to open up a lot of doors at a lot of banks. But the Fed, they're fighting inflation. And the inflation that they're fighting is the same inflation that they created. Ron Paul says, 1913, the year that led to today's economic torture. Both the income tax and the Fed were created that year. The income tax made everyone's earnings the property of the government first. What the government allows people to keep is then relentlessly stolen by the Fed's inflation. Get rid of the IRS and get rid of the Fed. Then we just pay a tax to the Treasury Department, a flat tax. I think that would be the path forward for the United States. I said it time and time again. The Fed and those stupid numbers that Jerome Powell comes out with month after month. Oh, well, we got to try to get inflation down. Meanwhile, inflation just continues to go higher. And when they're counting inflation, they don't count food and gas and things like that. You know, it's time for change in the United States. And every change that they're going to make also will include crypto, because crypto is the way you fix a lot of these problems. XRP can fix the money problems. They can move money. It could move anything of value around the world in a matter of seconds. It could also fix a lot of the issues at the banks and those high fees that people are paying to all of these big banks. Any small bank that starts utilizing RippleNet and XRP will get the upper hand on some of the biggest banks out there. And, you know, we are just waiting for it all to happen. But I cannot wait until we get Trump in the White House. I want to see how fast we get crypto regulations. I want to see how fast things are made, or things change around the IRS and the Fed as well. But until it all happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.